Hello, hello, everybody. I am your host of the Let's Talk Smiles podcast, Dr. Catrise Austin. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I'm super excited to have one of my dear friends and colleagues, Dr. Mina Kim here. And I was inspired to do this podcast episode when I saw her featured in an article in Bustle magazine. And the article was about the best toothpaste for your porcelain veneers. Now, I have porcelain veneers, so this was especially interesting for me, but it is one of the questions that I get from patients all the time. So we're going to talk about it. Welcome, Dr. Kim. How are you?
Dr. Austin, thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you here.
I know we haven't gotten a chance to see each other in person in a while, so I'm just happy to see your face and to speak with such an expert such as yourself.
I mean, that's coming from the Queen of Smiles. That means a lot.
Well, I'm so excited to, when I saw the article and I saw your name in it, I'm like, I know her. And it's so important to take care of your veneers because people invest a lot of money. I mean, we're in New York City. Mm-hmm. Veneers can cost anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 per tooth, with most people getting at least 6. Many people will do the whole mouth, which will end up being about 20 veneers. So this is an investment. And when we make that investment in our mouths, we want to definitely make sure that we're taking care of it the best way possible, right? So I am so excited to talk about 3 toothpaste and some more that are good for your porcelain veneers. So in general, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're taking care of your veneers, you definitely want to do the same exact things that you do with your normal natural teeth. Brushing, flossing, rinsing your mouth to get rid of the bacteria in all of your mouth, and cleaning your tongue. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. But let's talk about that toothpaste. Number one, what is your favorite type of toothbrush? Are you a manual type of gal, or are you a sonic or electric toothbrusher?
I love brushes, and my preference is the Sonicare, because I think most people brush too hard. I'm sure you see this with your patients. They do one of these.
Oh, yeah. And when they come in and the first thing that they say, oh, my teeth are sensitive, doc, it's usually because they're either brushing too hard or using the wrong textured manual brush. So if you guys are out there, don't use a hard bristled toothbrush. Don't use a medium. And I know it makes sense, right, doc? The harder the brush, the better it should brush your teeth, right? But those bristles that are medium or hard are way too hard for the enamel.
No, save those for scrubbing your jewelry.
Right?
Floors. That is not for your teeth. And the best way to explain it, I think, is that plaque is soft. Plaque should be able to be removed with a soft touch. Anything that you cannot remove by gently brushing your teeth, you need to go see your dentist, because you should not have anything at home that you can remove any buildup with.
Right. And that's why the second step of flossing is super important, because, a lot of times we get the plaque that's soft above the gum line, but we're not getting below the gum and removing that bacteria. And it's just as important. I would even say even more important to get below the gums, where that foundation is, the bone and the fibers that's holding that tooth to the bone. If you don't get rid of the plaque and tartar in that area, man, you are going to start to get bone loss, severe infections, and then your whole veneer investment is really in jeopardy.
I agree. It's, so many patients don't floss as much or as well as they should, but that's really reaching the areas that your brush isn't. And it's the best way to think about it.
Yeah, these are my favorite, the flossers. Man, you get a bag of these or a box of these, and you have your little toothpick on one side, so you can literally get between the teeth and get those crevices. But then you take the floss, and it's just grab and go. You take the floss and you get in between, hold it against the tooth like a C, and just you're cleaning the sides of the tooth. That's what we want to do. We don't want any sugar, plaque, any food particles. We don't want anything in that area. So, a lot of people say, oh, I go zigzag. And I'm like, oh, you're flossing, but then you're not doing it properly. So up and down, that space is vertical. And that way you can save the bone and the fibers and save your teeth. So those beautiful veneers that's above the gums can last for a lifetime. And a lot of times people, do you get this question all the time, Doc? How long do veneers last?
Definitely. And I think it's largely dependent on the patient's maintenance.
That's it. That's why this article was super important, because it's about maintenance. So let's talk about the toothpaste that we recommend and some of the factors that we want to look at when we're thinking about the toothpaste to care for our porcelain veneers. Now, in the article, there were 3 recommendations. We'll go through. I'm actually going to share my screen. We'll talk about that. But the one thing I want to get into is there's something, a chart and a measure by which we kind of determine which toothpaste are safer for the teeth and veneers and not. And that's called the relative dentin abrasivity, right?
Yep.
Now, can you explain a little bit of what that, and we go by RDA. Can you explain what the RDA is?
Sure. RDA, simply put, all it is a measurement of how gritty your toothpaste is. Think about sandpaper. It comes in fine, extra fine, and coarse. Toothpaste is the same way. And you want to pick something with a low RDA. And that's from 0 to 70 is in your lower range.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the 3 toothpaste that were mentioned in the article. But when I looked at the RDA chart, I saw something very interesting. The thing that had the lowest RDA was brushing your teeth and your veneers with just the toothbrush and water. That has the lowest chances of harming your teeth and veneers. What do you think about that? Have you ever brushed your teeth without any type of toothpaste, just water?
I always use toothpaste. It's probably, for some reason, if you're in a position where you don't have toothpaste, it's better than not brushing at all. But, toothpaste has things like fluoride, which I consider like vitamins for your teeth that help make them stronger. And having a stronger base under those veneers are going to help them to last longer. So I do recommend using toothpaste. Mm-hmm.
Now, you just said the F word, and a lot of our listeners out here, they have some thoughts about fluoride. Why does the dental ADA still recommends fluoride toothpaste? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, why is it that so many people have problems with fluoride? They say it's harmful, it's toxic to your body. Why do we continue to stand by our fluoride recommendations?
So fluoride in large amounts is toxic, but so like you and me, we can probably, for whatever reason, if we decided to eat a whole tube of toothpaste, we would still probably survive. But then a little child, that's small like a baby, if they potentially eat a lot of toothpaste, they can actually die. So yes, fluoride in large amounts is toxic, but so are a lot of things. Chocolate, large amounts.
Alcohol,
a lot of things.
Sugar.
Exactly. The important part is to use it according to the ADA, which is the American Dental Association recommendations. And the recommendations is you're going to use a little more than a pea-size amount. And you only need a small amount. It goes a long way.
That is correct. So for those who are a little hesitant, it was added to our water, most areas, definitely our metropolitan areas, we have it in our water. And I must say, when I have patients come in, those who don't drink our city water, fluoridated water, I tend to see more cavity. That's one of the things that I ask, do you drink bottled water or tap water? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times the people who have more cavities tend to drink bottled water. water, and I do see a big difference. I think it is helpful to reduce cavities, especially if you are cavity prone. I think it is beneficial. But I know a lot of people listening, and I'm probably going to get a lot of comments. Fluoride toothpaste. Oh my God, she recommended fluoride. But I don't know. We still, the dental community still stands by fluoride. So, we got to share what the science says.
And I use a fluoride toothpaste. Not only do I drink tap water, rinse with tap water, use a fluoride toothpaste, I also use a fluoride mouth rinse.
Look at there. And look at your smile. You're surviving over there.
Yep.
Well, let me pull up these 3 toothpaste brands, and let's talk about what we have here. All right, so the first is Sensodyne Pro Enamel. Sensodyne is, it's just tried and true, especially if you have sensitivity. Now, a lot of times when we place the veneers, a lot of times our patients will have a little sensitivity for a day or two. So everybody responds different, but it's not uncommon. Anytime you have any dental work, there's any type of drilling to your teeth, any alteration to the tooth structure, I always tell people, don't be surprised if you experience a little sensitivity for the first day or 2 days, sometimes longer. If you came in with sensitive teeth, you may leave or continue to have sensitive teeth. And I just love Sensodyne Pro Enamel. One of the things that it does is it puts a protective coating over the nerve. So it puts a barrier over the nerve. If you're not familiar with the tooth, you have the outside enamel, and then underneath that, and that outside enamel is naturally white. The inside of the tooth is naturally yellow. That's called the dentin. So when you guys are trying to whiten your teeth, that's the area that the peroxide and whitening agent is working. And then right underneath that area is the nerve. So a lot of times if you have sensitivity, before I do a whitening or I do any extensive cosmetic dental work, I'll recommend that you use a formula like Sensodyne Pro Enamel, so that you can get that protective layer over the nerve. So when we're working with you, you have a more pleasant experience. Now let's talk about the cost. The cost for a 3-pack, if you go to Amazon, is about $17, which is not bad, very much worth it. So you're gonna get some value for that 3-pack of 17. The RDA value is 34 to 37, not bad.
And this is one of the lowest. I think Sensodyne, I recommend it, I know as you do, very often, because so many patients, so many of my emergencies, they come because they have sensitivity. Yes. And sometimes this could be easily solved by using a toothpaste like Sensodyne.
And then today, I find a lot of people are still not aware of Sensodyne, that this is a toothpaste, if they have sensitivity, that this is something that may work. And it may not work overnight all the time, but if you use it consistently for a few weeks, you're going to see a big difference, unless your sensitivity is coming from a large cavity or that's close to the nerve, then there's nothing you can do but see a dentist like myself and Dr. Mina, and she will get you out of pain. That's what we like to do to save our patients from not feeling all that pain. So the RDA value is 34 to 37. It's got a 4.7 star overall rating. Consumers like it with 7,000 reviews. This is great.
And another thing I like to instruct my patients to do with Sensodyne, not only can you brush with it, sometimes if you're going in a situation where you're just like so sensitive for a few days, like everything cold is just really triggering you, you can literally put the Sensodyne on your gums. Really? I tell patients to kind of leave it on while they're watching, while you're watching your favorite TV show for about half an hour, and then rinse with it. And I feel like, and again, Sensodyne has an ingredient called potassium nitrate, and that's the ingredient that kind of forms that protective layer that's going to help, block some of like the stuff that's making you really sensitive.
Yes. And you have these channels, a rod that goes directly from the outside of the tooth to that nerve. So anything that we can do to cover it up and block that sensation from hitting the nerve, that's what we want to do. And that's why we both give a thumbs up to Sensodyne, yes. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's see, one positive review on Sensodyne. I've had veneers and crowns, and this has been the only toothpaste I found that eliminates the hypersensitivity of my teeth. I definitely won't ever change back to any other brand. Okay, Sensodyne, all right. Yes. All right, so the next toothpaste that was in the article is Premier. It's actually, the name of the toothpaste is Enamelon Fluoride Toothpaste. The maker is Premier. Now, you can find this on Amazon. It's not going to pop up as easily as some of the other toothpaste do, but you can find it. And when you find it, you may see a little bit of sticker shock because it is not cheap, but it gets great reviews as well. The price is per tube $23 per tube on Amazon. However, listen, this is all an investment. So if you want a good toothpaste that is going to be kind to your veneers, you may want to try Enamelon. What are your thoughts on the RDA value? I see is 39 out of 70. This is still great.
Mm-hmm. And yep, and up to 70 is still considered in the low range.
Oh, so, awesome. Yeah. Anything under 7, anything, even good. If it's 69 RDA, you're good.
Absolutely.
But the lower, the better.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Enamelon, it's definitely, this is like a little bit more of your luxury brand, right?
Luxury, yes.
It's great. It's also, one extra benefit is that it is good for dry mouth. Yes. So if you also have dry mouth, this may help you instead of having to use this and maybe a rinse. Sometimes this can help. Of course, you always need to consult with your dentist to see what's best for your particular case. Yes. But this could be a nice option. And you know what? If you drove a Ferrari, you're not going to put
regular gas.
You're going to put it.
Well, with today's gas prices, Dr. Kim, I don't know. I might break the rules.
I know. I might. Can you put water in your car? Like what?
Right.
I don't know.
Oh goodness. One of the things with this toothpaste is, you said this before, this is a case where a little goes a long way. And that's one of the reviews that someone gave. Expensive, but I use a small amount, which we recommend a pea size, with an electric toothbrush, and it controls sensitivity very well. So we're going to give a thumbs up to Enamelon. Yes. They also say it comes in a nice minty flavor. So that's the thing. We were talking about brushing your teeth without toothpaste. And I think one of the biggest benefits of using toothpaste is you're getting that minty taste. You've been asleep all day, you wake up and your mouth doesn't feel that breath, that clean and fresh, or smell that clean and fresh. Having that minty flavor from the toothpaste is the added benefit. But as you said before, the name of the game with brushing in general, especially when you have veneers, is to get that soft, sticky plaque off your teeth. It is nothing but bacteria. Just literally think of it as bacteria. And if you had bacteria on any other part of your body, right, Doc? If you had it on your arm, your leg, you would want to get, oh my God, I have bugs, bacteria on my arm. You would like rush to get it off. So think of that plaque as the same thing. It's nothing but bacteria that can cause an infection in your mouth. Speaking of which, can we talk about the signs? How do you know if you have a gum infection? One like gingivitis, which is a mild infection of your gums. What are some of the signs that our clients could know from home if they have an infection?
I mean, one of the most common signs I would say is swelling and bleeding, right? If the area is kind of, by inflammation, we mean that it's kind of bumpy, or, it feels like puffier. And then, if no matter how clean you keep it, if it keeps on bleeding, you may have a gum infection, and it's really important to see your dentist then.
Bleeding, redness, your gums should actually be pink when you look in the mirror. pink, shouldn't be swollen, tenderness as well. But that number one sign, like you said, is bleeding. Now, Doc, sometimes people see the bleeding. My friend said this the other day. My gums bleed, so I don't go in there. I just don't brush that area. I'm scared to brush that area, so I go everywhere else. Is that the right approach, or should they go in that area?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think you should be going in that area. It's counterintuitive, right? You think it hurts, so I should leave it alone. But a lot of time, the reasons why it does hurt is because, like you said, there's bacteria in the area. You want to get rid of that bacteria, and that's going to help the inflammation levels go down in most cases.
So if you do see bleeding in a particular area, a lot of times it's just isolated to one or two teeth. You go right in that area and you get that floss, you go below the gums, go vertically, and you brush more in that area. And then if it doesn't resolve in a few days, maybe give it up to a week. If it doesn't resolve on its own, you may have some tartar, that hardened version of the plaque. And when you have tartar, when it turns from being soft to a hard rock that's stuck to your teeth, you can't brush it away, you can't floss it away. That's when you need a professional like Dr. Mina Kim and I to get rid of that tartar. And then you get a fresh, clean start, and you want to make sure that we get that tartar off as soon as possible. And that's exactly why we recommend that you go see your dentist twice a year, every 6 months at least, unless your doctor says come more frequently for maintenance. You at least want to make it twice a year. And I know a lot of people have missed their appointments due to COVID and not having a dentist or a dental insurance may have been dropped and they have no options and they haven't been yet. But get to that dentist, get those checkups and get those cleanings just for your basic maintenance so that you don't get into a situation where you have advanced. What you don't want is advanced gum disease. That's when the fibers start to tear, the bone starts to deteriorate, which you can never get back. And you may find yourself needing a gum specialist because the bacteria and plaque and stuff is so deep down, or your teeth are getting loose, where you need the help of a specialist to restore bone. We may have to do surgery to add bone, or deep cleaning where we have to flap your gums back to get access to the plaque and tartar. None of this sounds sexy, right, Doc?
No, absolutely. And you are definitely explaining as to why it's so important. Maintenance is so important. You want to take care of your teeth so you don't get to that point. And, we talked about, unfortunately during COVID, a lot of people did lose their jobs, right? Yeah. They didn't have dental insurance or maybe means to pay for this. But you know what? If money is truly an option, I recommend going to your local dental school.
I do too. All the time.
Get your checkups and cleanings done. You want to do, even if you're spending a little money here, it's going to prevent bigger issues down the road. Like you said, all that great stuff that you were talking about, opening up your gum surgery. We don't want any of that.
You don't want to get numb for your cleaning. It's so nice when you could go in and you have a nice little hygienist that all they have to do is measure your gums, take the polisher, maybe, we always tend to get it in that lower front area, right? If you're going to get it anywhere in the upper back areas, you want them to just go into those key areas where it usually builds up and then take that polisher, clean, floss you, and you're in and out. And usually this is what I love. When you do it regularly and your gums are on the healthier side, usually if you have insurance, it's usually covered at 100% if you have the standard plan. Or, worst case, you're paying a 20% copayment, but it's going to be much, much cheaper when your gums are healthy. So that's why we're talking prevention. And again, if you have porcelain veneers, it's going to be super key. You do not want to get into certain, because if you get gum disease, what'll happen, your veneers are not going to look like they're coming from underneath your gums. Your gums are going to start to slide up. That's called gum recession. Or if you're using the wrong type of toothbrush and you're brushing with a hard brush, or you're brushing with a harder pressure, your gums could start to slide away from the edges of the veneer, and then they're not going to look good either. So, man, we're bringing up some things that they're not thinking about, but the maintenance of your veneers and your teeth. And here's the thing, people ask me, the maintenance of your veneers or any dental work is the same as your own natural teeth. You really treat veneers as if they are your own teeth. They are, you know, I didn't actually show you guys what a veneer looks like, but this is, for those of you who are watching the video, this is a sample of a veneer. It's a thin shell of porcelain that goes right over the front surface of your teeth, like a fake fingernail does a nail bed, and we use a permanent glue. They're custom made and designed to fit over your teeth to hopefully look natural and improve the shape, the color, the length of your teeth in just maybe 2 weeks, sometimes less, depending on the dentist and the lab that you're working with. So it's a great procedure. And the one benefit with the veneers is that once you do choose that color, it's going to forever be that color. They don't fade like natural teeth do. So the great thing is, a lot of times people will invest in veneers because you're buying permanently white teeth, which is fabulous. But again, we got to make sure that we're not scratching them. And that's why we're talking about this abrasiveness index, so that we make sure that we're using the right products, like the toothpaste, to make sure we're not scratching the surface. Because if you use a really abrasive toothpaste, what's going to happen is you're going to lose. It comes with a natural glaze on there to keep them looking shiny and lifelike. What you're going to do is if you use a toothpaste that's really abrasive, you're going to actually take away that shine, and then they're going to start to look dull. We don't want that. People are paying up to $4,000 per tooth in New York City and LA. You don't want to ruin your investment. So let's talk about the third toothpaste, which is also surprising. It was and is Tom's of Maine's children's toothpaste, the strawberry flavor. Wow. I would have never thought, Dr. Kim, to use a children's toothpaste as an adult, but it's perfectly okay, right?
Definitely. And I think with the children's toothpaste, typically, you know, there are formulations without fluoride. This one does have fluoride, but they're made to kind of taste better. And with Tom's also, you have a lot more like natural ingredients, where it's free of certain preservatives that, you know, if it's something you're very conscious of, it typically does not have this, you know, so you can feel maybe like a lot better about, you know, using this.
You'll find Tom's of Maine, definitely if you are a Whole Foods shopper, they always carry Tom's. Of course, it's on Amazon, but in the natural sections of most dental toothpaste aisles, you will find Tom's. And yes, they are known for being a organic or natural toothpaste, and I love it. I've actually tried the Tom's strawberry because I love brushing. Like when you go to the dentist and they ask you what flavor you want, and that's always the exciting part. Do you want bubble gum? Do you want strawberry? You want grape? You want mint? So I always was the one that chose like the bubble gum or strawberry. So this kind of brings me back to having that choice in the dental office. And it goes for $12 for a 3-pack. So this is very, very affordable, guys. 3-pack for $12. The RDA factor value is 57, so it's still well below 70. The strawberry, I wonder if it comes in multiple flavors, but the strawberry I can vouch for is good. And it got 9,000 5-star reviews, so that is saying something. The people have spoken.
Yeah, and you know, it's great too, because if you have children, again, you know, in New York City, a lot of us, you know, it's not like a house where you have multiple bathrooms, maybe you have 1 or 2. You can just share your toothpaste instead of having like 4 different toothpastes on, you know, on your sink, which is nice.
Yes. One positive reviewer said, my wife and I have been using Tom's for years, and I've tried a lot of their different flavors. So they do have different flavors. We got to keep this in the house for when our niece and nephews visit. After trying it, I haven't put it away for a company yet. I find the flavor to be fun and exciting. We need toothbrushing to be fun. So if the strawberry flavor is going to excite you to brushing like this reviewer, we want that. He says a lot less boring than my normal flavor. I love it. And a lot of times it just takes something like a flavor to get you to go in and want to do something like brush the 2 times a day. Do you knock your patients if they don't brush? We used to say, or sometimes some dentists will say 3 times a day, but we know in a busy day that's not always possible. Are you cool with 2 times a day, morning and at night before you go to bed?
You know what? I think 2 times a day should be a minimum. That being said, is it realistic to really brush more when you're out and about? You know, being a dentist, I can brush in the office. So on days I'm in the office, I typically brush at least 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that for most people, 2 is probably the easiest, but you know, occasionally I do have patients that really they're just brushing once a day. They're brushing once in the morning and night. They're like, Doc, I'm too tired. You know, I fall asleep. But you know what? Those people, I tell them, hey, you know what I do before I go to bed, I usually watch TV. Like I have a TV show I watch kind of like just to wind down before I go to sleep. I brush my teeth, wash my face, put on my face mask, floss, all that stuff.
You have a routine. You have a regimen, yes. A bedtime regimen.
Exactly. And if for some reason, like, you know, you find yourself falling asleep without brushing your teeth, just do it maybe a little earlier, you know, when you're not so tired. And then whatever, read your book or watch TV, your show, or whatever it is that you do to unwind. So, you know, you make sure you're at minimum brushing twice a day.
How about you have your last meal, you have dinner, and then you brush your teeth, and then you're golden. Because the name of the game is just to not go to bed with acids and sugars and bacteria stuck to your teeth, to marinate for, hopefully you're getting 8 hours, unlike some people I know in this room that's hosting this podcast. But no, you should get hopefully a good 6 or 7 hours of sleep, hopefully, that you're not letting that sugar marinate on your teeth because you have brushed before you go to bed. So that's what we want. This is super important.
I like that right after dinner. And you know what? Like I tend to snack a lot at night, and I always want a snack. And you know, honestly, it's because my husband's always snacking. But
you're gonna blame it on your husband, huh?
It's his fault. It definitely is his fault. But right after you eat, and you know, I kind of after I brush my teeth, I will not have a snack because
that's the thing. It's like that's the final thing. So it's like in the morning, I'm a coffee drinker. I'm going to drink my coffee and then I'm going to brush my teeth, and I know that's it. So I need to finish all the coffee I'm going to have, because once I brush my teeth, I don't want to ruin that minty fresh breath.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's all about finding your routine and, you know, making something that makes sense for you and your lifestyle.
Yes. Consistency is the name of the game. And listen, like we said before, if you follow the steps, brushing twice a day, here's the thing. When you're using one of these toothpaste in your sonic or electric toothbrush, make sure you're brushing for 2 whole minutes. And that is why we both love the sonic toothbrushes, the electric toothbrushes, because they come with timers, and every 30 seconds, this is going to beep and tell you when it's time to move to the next section. So if you divide your smile, your mouth, into 4 sections, each section you're going to brush for 30 seconds. And the reason why I particularly love the power toothbrushes is because it's going to spin so much faster than your hand could ever go, like 40,000 brush strokes per minute. Your hand, when you're using a manual toothbrush, can never emit that much power. So that's why I love those babies. And again, if you're flossing, you grab like a box of these flossers, something like that, and you go up and down. I just misplaced there we go. There we go. You get a bag of these or a box of these babies, and you just make sure you go up and down. I just love it. Grab and go up and down. How long? You can spend a minute or 2 minutes on flossing. Use your mouth rinse. I'm a big Listerine fan, so I love these. Now you can carry this in if you carry a nice size purse. If you can't brush between meals, then you can have this, and this just rinse for like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, get rid of that bacteria, and that'll give you some protection until you get home, you have your dinner, you watch your show, and you brush your teeth before you go to bed. So that is a little insider trick. You get your little sample size. You can carry, that's another tip, Dr. Mina Kim. You could get sample size, those travel size when you're going on vacation. Keep those in your pocket or in your purse, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a way that you could go into, you're having lunch at what's one of our favorite restaurants. You're in New York City, you're at Abra, something like that.
That's great. You had some chips, and
yes, you go downstairs to that bathroom and you brush, come back up, and you're done. You're good.
One thing though, don't forget, I always put these things in a Ziploc, because if you don't close them carefully and, your purse kind of overturns.
Oh my God.
You want to keep those, your Chanel purses and your Birkins, you got to keep those nice and clean.
Got to keep them clean. That is a good, because I have had I have had toothpaste in my purse, and that tube opened up and everything in my purse was covered with Sensodyne. So we don't want that. So great tip, Dr. Kim. Well, man, we've covered some things. Is there anything that we didn't cover? You're going to brush every day, twice a day for 2 whole minutes. We're going to recommend that you find we're going to find a toothpaste that preferably has fluoride. One of these 3 have been deemed safe. We're going to do a little review. Number 1, we recommend for your veneers, the Sensodyne Pro Enamel toothpaste for sensitive teeth. It goes for about $17 for a 3-pack, has a low RDA value, and it is great to not only protect your veneers, but if you have sensitive teeth, you cannot lose with Sensodyne. Number 2, we're going to recommend if you like a luxury, you like investing in the finer things in dental, then you're going to get your Premier Enamelon Fluoride toothpaste. It is $23. You just use, it is expensive, but it works. It's great for dry mouth. It's great for protecting your veneers. It has a low RDA value of 39 out of 70, which is all low. And just a little bit goes a long way. People love it. And finally, we were just discussing the Times of Maine children's toothpaste. You get a 3-pack for $12. The RDA value is 57. People love it because that strawberry taste is amazing. Listen, if you want to have a little fun with your brushing experience, that is one. I know it says children's, but toothpaste is toothpaste. You just want to use something along with that toothbrush to get that plaque off your teeth. Nothing but bacteria. And if you have veneers and you see that your gums are bleeding, your gums are pink, not pink, they're red, they're tender, they're swollen, make sure that you get to your dentist. And if you don't have an insurance plan right now, we are recommending that you look for your nearest dental school, and you could get dental care there very affordably. I also talk about the Carrington discount plan. It's not insurance, but it will give you up to 60% discount on a normal dentist fee. So you can see a private doctor that takes the Carrington discount plan and save. So there are lots of options. I'm going to put them in the resource area of the podcast so you can find that. We're going to also give you a resource to that RDA. We were talking about you can't really find the RDA chart It's not the value on the back of the toothpaste. So don't go looking for it. It's not going to be there. But in the link in the podcast, I am going to put a resource where if you want to check out all the toothpaste that are on the market and find out what their RDA value is, I'm going to put a resource right in here in the link to this podcast so you can check it out yourself and you can make an informed decision and maybe start trying out some toothpaste and find one that excites you as well. Well, I want to thank you so much, Dr. Mina Kim, for joining me today. I am so happy to see you quoted as a dental expert, the expert that you are. And, I get excited when I see consumer articles because, a lot of the TV shows that are medically related, we don't always get a lot of dentistry topics. So it's up to you and I and other leaders in dentistry to continue to bring this type of information to consumers so that they have answers and they can make informed decisions. So where can people find you, Dr. Mina Kim? What's your social media handle? And if you have a website you want to share or anything that you want to share, you have the floor, Queen.
Sure. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Mina Kim, spelled DrMinakim. My office is Bryant Park Dental, and our website is bryantparkdental.com. You can also find me there.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. And I can't wait to talk to you again. You have been amazing, a wealth of information. And I will see you again soon.
Thanks for listening to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast with Dr. Catrise Austin. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And don't forget to leave an awesome review. This podcast is intended to be informational only. It is not a dental consultation, and this is not personalized dental advice. For medical advice, please consult your dentist.